Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a single choice that, honestly, shapes pretty much everything in our lives. Do you take the easy path or the disciplined one? Sounds simple enough, right? But as we're about to see, our own instincts can seriously lead us down the wrong road. Let's get into it. I mean, let's be real. Who isn't looking for a shortcut? We all want to find the fastest, most efficient way to get what we want. It's just human nature to look for the path of least resistance. But what if that very instinct is pointing us in the complete opposite direction of where we need to go?
This line from the team at Early Grind really hits hard, doesn't it? It forces us to face this tough idea that our search for a shortcut might be the very thing that guarantees we fail. This isn't just a catchy quote, it's a serious warning.
So let's start by really looking at what failure is made of. Why exactly is the so-called easy way so often a total trap? It's a trap, pure and simple, because it's all based on this completely flawed way of thinking. It's this belief that you can get these amazing, incredible results with just, average or even barely any effort. That mindset dooms us from the get-go because it's just not how the world actually works.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? The path of failure, it's completely passive. It's all about hoping you get lucky, guessing what to do, and just wishing for the best. But the path of excellence, that's all active. It's about discipline, it's about studying, and it's about making a real choice to be great. One is like buying a lottery ticket, and the other, that's having the blueprint.
Okay, so if the easy path is a trap, what's the other option? Well, this is where we get to the blueprint for success. And the really good news is we don't have to invent this thing from scratch. We just have to be smart enough to learn from the people who've already figured it out. You've probably heard of the legendary business author Brian Tracy, right? Well, he boiled this whole thing down to a simple, but honestly an incredibly powerful idea. He said, success isn't some kind of magic or mystery. Nope, it's a process, a formula that you can study, you can understand, and this is the most important part, you can copy. And here it is, the formula, laid out as clear as day. It's not just about copying success. You also have to consciously, deliberately avoid what leads to failure. It's this two-part strategy, imitate and avoid, that's the real core of the blueprint. It sounds so simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. And this is where everything changes. When you start following this blueprint, you're not guessing anymore. You're not just hoping for a lucky break. You start to stack the odds so heavily in your favor that success stops being a maybe and starts becoming an inevitability. But just knowing the blueprint? Well, that's not quite enough. It all boils down to one thing, a decision. A personal commitment you have to make to be excellent. I mean, seriously, in the world we live in today, being just average or good enough doesn't really cut it anymore, does it? There's competition everywhere. And if you're not actively trying to get really, genuinely good at what you do, you're just making the journey way harder on yourself. This is it. This is the secret sauce, the key thing that Brian Tracy found after looking at countless successful people from every walk of life. It wasn't their background or their luck or some natural talent that made the biggest difference. It was a conscious, deliberate choice to be excellent. But here's the reality check. When you actually look at the numbers, you realize just how rare that commitment is. The vast majority of people, they never actually make this choice. They just kind of stay on that other path of hoping and wishing. Think about that number for a second. It's pretty incredible. It tells us that the door to excellence is wide open for literally anyone, but only this tiny fraction of people ever actually choose to walk through it. This isn't about whether you're able, it's about whether you're willing, and that means the choice. It's all yours. So that brings us right back to the beginning, to the final question. Which path are you going to choose? Because your future isn't a guess. It's not something that happens to you, it's a decision you make every single day. So here's the bottom line. Every morning, you're standing at a fork in the road. One path is crowded, it's comfortable, and you know what? It ultimately leads nowhere. The other path, it's tough, it's disciplined, and it leads to everything you want. So what's today's decision going to be?